But here's another stock that I may add has been a little bit all over the place the last couple of minutes. Let's bring up the intraday chart of Kaveri Seeds. Mithun Chand, the Executive Director of Kaveri Seeds, now joining us live right here on ET. Now, let's bring up the intraday chart as well. Mithun, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks so much for being a part of Markets at Noon. Clearly, you're not on a long weekend holiday like the rest of us, but jokes apart. So far, the data that we have shows that sowing trends in the first half of the monsoon season has been muted. Can you elaborate on that? Would you concur with that? Has there been any improvement going forward as well?
If you see the first quarter, the monsoons have been delayed in most of the parts across India. But as of now, as on date, it has picked up, especially in the second half of July and the present 15 days. It's raining across India, and most of these parts are covered now. And in terms of the sale, most of the sowings are done as of now. But if you see our first quarter results, we are up by 12% in terms of the value as overall scenario, and there might be some spillover sales because as the monsoon has been delayed, some of the cotton sales might come up in the second quarter.
Right. Mithun, you've also looked to steadily scale up the non-cotton business. How's that panning out? What's the contribution from this side of business in the quarter that's gone by?
If you see, the non-cotton business has grown by more than 23%. In spite, maize acreage is down compared to previous year, and the volumes are not up. But if you see overall portfolio as such, we are up by 23% in non-cotton crops, whereas cotton is up by only 8%. So what we were saying earlier, we were shifting our focus to non-cotton crops, and we were concentrating on non-cotton crops in terms of the contribution, and that's very much visible this year. And going forward, we are very much positive about the contribution from the non-cotton crop, which is much more profitable than the cotton crop.
What would be the guidance for cotton packet in terms of revenue, margins, and even profitability?
So we have done close to 66 lakh packets of cotton, up by 7% in terms of value and 12% in terms of the volume. But in terms of the profitability, cotton crop is around 15% as a EBITDA levels, 15 to 18% as an EBITDA levels, depending on the state where we operate. But other crops are more than 30%. I'm talking about the gross levels.
Right. What is the kind of pricing trends you're seeing in key categories?
Except for the cotton crop, all crops are free pricing. So cotton is controlled by the government, and compared to previous year, the cotton prices are reduced by 10 rupees this year. So that's the reason, even that's an impact what we had in terms of the revenue in terms of for cotton. But other crops, we are free to price, and if you see the value and volume, both are up this year compared to previous years.
Mithun, thanks a lot for joining us here. The stock currently up by about 7% in trade. So there's a thumbs up to the management commentary coming in from Kaveri Seeds as well. You could see the reaction while the interview was underway.